Rachel Zegler completely lost it after South Park obliterated Disney's latest attempt to push their so-called woke agenda. The show didn't hold back, taking direct aim at the very face of Disney's modern failures.
Eric, it's okay. It's okay.
Mom, I had a dream that I was replaced by a diverse woman.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, only this time, it wasn't just me. They were taking all my favorite people and replacing them with diverse women complaining about the patriarchy.
Honestly, no one's surprised. South Park has built its legacy on calling out the absurdities of woke culture, and Disney's Snow White remake practically had a target painted on it from day one. But what's catching everyone's attention now isn't just the parody itself, it's Rachel Zegler's reaction. Word is, Disney's chosen Snow White isn't just upset, she's fuming. After South Park aired their scathing new episode titled Into the Panderverse, the backlash surrounding her role exploded. And in true South Park fashion, they didn't hold back. The episode mocked the entertainment industry's obsession with gender and race-swapping legacy characters, with even Cartman, Stan, Butters, and Kenny transformed into adult women of color, a not-so-subtle dig at Disney's strategy of rewriting classic stories to fit a modern narrative. And then there's the Snow White controversy itself. Casting Rachel Zegler, a Latina actress, as a character famously described as having skin as white as snow, sparked immediate debate. Fans questioned the logic behind the choice, and honestly, they had a point. But it didn't stop there. Disney didn't just recast the lead, they overhauled the entire story. The iconic romance? Scrapped. The prince? Practically erased. And the 7 dwarves? Gone. It's almost as if Disney wants to make the story unrecognizable and audiences aren't buying it. Now, with South Park roasting them on a national stage, the backlash has reached a boiling point, and Rachel Zegler is right in the middle of the storm.
I believe, a little person, one person with dwarfism, and now they're just completely cut. There will be no dwarf actors at all working on this film, and in a live action, which means we're supposed to translate from animation to real life people.
And Rachel? She hasn't exactly done herself any favors. In multiple interviews, she's come across as dismissive, some would even say entitled, about the very role that put her in the spotlight. She's openly criticized the original Snow White, calling it outdated and problematic, making it painfully clear she's not a fan of the story she was cast to lead. At one point, she even joked about the set snacks being apple-flavored, like it was some kind of inside joke at her expense. Really, Rachel? That's what we're focusing on. It's no wonder fans are frustrated. To them, it feels like she's trashing a beloved fairy tale just to promote a version that barely resembles Snow White at all. And here's where things get even messier. In yet another eyebrow-raising moment, Rachel made comments suggesting the prince might not even matter to the story anymore. She claimed the film wasn't about a love story at all, and even joked about cutting his scenes entirely. Whether she was joking or not, the tone rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Fans aren't just upset about the changes, they're upset about how those changes are being framed, like the original tale was somehow broken or inferior. And don't even get started on the 7 dwarves. Disney didn't just tweak them, they erased them. The heart of Snow White, her bond with those 7 characters, is gone. It's just one more example of how far Disney is willing to go to rewrite its own classics in the name of modern messaging. But here's the real question. If you're going to remake a generational film, shouldn't the goal be to honor its legacy, not erase it?
Timeless values that we all loved growing up that are sadly being forgotten in this new adaptation. I also don't know who is more excited, this guy or me, because the way he was bouncing in that video was absolutely insane. But somebody said, who's playing Snow White, Ben or Brett? I can't even tell. Never heard that joke before. That's really clever.
This isn't Disney's first rodeo when it comes to backlash over modernizing their classics. We all remember the controversy surrounding The Little Mermaid. Casting Halle Bailey as Ariel sparked heated debate, yet that film still managed to retain much of its original charm. Despite the outrage, The Little Mermaid stayed true to its story's heart. But that's exactly where Snow White is different, and that's why this backlash has hit so much harder. The changes aren't just cosmetic, they're structural. Fans aren't just upset over casting, they're furious over the complete overhaul of a timeless story. And when you add Rachel Zegler's tone-deaf interviews into the mix, it becomes nearly impossible for audiences to accept this remake as anything more than corporate pandering. Of course, South Park saw the writing on the wall, and they pounced. Their episode, Into the Panderverse, took aim directly at studios like Disney, who they claim are more focused on ticking diversity boxes than telling good stories. And in classic South Park fashion, they pulled no punches. By race, and gender-swapping their own iconic characters, Cartman, Stan, Butters, and Kenny, into adult women of color, they exposed what they see as the absurdity of Hollywood's current trend, rewriting everything for the sake of optics. Let's be real, South Park has never cared about hurting feelings. Disney isn't the first to feel their sting, and they certainly won't be the last. From the streaming wars to their savage takes on Star Wars, and even that infamous portrayal of Mickey Mouse, Disney has become a recurring character in the South Park universe of satire. But this time, this episode felt tailor-made to destroy Disney's current direction.
And it worked.
Because the message was crystal clear. Changing a character's race or gender in an established story isn't real diversity, especially when it comes at the expense of authenticity and narrative depth. And let's be honest, the moment Snow White came up, everyone knew who South Park was really aiming at.
Disney handed them the ammo.
Casting Rachel Zegler as Snow White, a character literally named for her skin as white as snow, sparked instant backlash. But Rachel's own attitude made things worse. Instead of embracing the legacy of the role, she dismissed it. In interview after interview, she criticized the original story, called it outdated and problematic, and even joked about apple-flavored snacks on set, as if she were somehow the victim. Really, Rachel? That's the battle you're choosing? But the real firestorm came when she downplayed the film's romance, saying it's not about love at all, and even joking about cutting the princess scenes. Whether or not she was serious, the tone didn't land. Fans didn't just hear her critique, they felt it as contempt. Contempt for the story they grew up with. Contempt for what Snow White used to mean. And then there's the dwarves, or lack thereof. Disney didn't just recast them. They erased them. Gone is the heart of the original, the relationship between Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, replaced instead with vague messaging and an entirely different storyline. For longtime fans, this felt less like a remake and more like a hostile takeover of a childhood classic. Let's be clear, fans aren't demanding a carbon copy of the past. They're asking for adaptations that respect the source material, stories that evolve without losing their soul. But what Disney delivered feels soulless. And the backlash? It's not just about one movie. It's about a growing sense that studios are rewriting beloved tales not to inspire a new generation, but to score points on social media. So now, Disney finds itself in a PR disaster. And South Park? They've just amplified the outrage with a megaphone heard around the world. Rumors are already swirling that Disney is trying to open backdoor conversations with South Park's creators, possibly to prevent more takedowns like this. And it makes sense. Disney's empire is built on polished, family-friendly optics. But South Park just dragged those optics into the mud and stomped on them for good measure. And the saddest part? In trying to rebrand Snow White as a tale of independence and empowerment, they've stripped it of the very values that made it timeless. Love, kindness, friendship, and innocence. All replaced with what? A warrior archetype, a hollow empowerment arc, and a disdain for romance? For fans, it's not about woke propaganda. It's about honoring the stories they love. Snow White was iconic for a reason. The love story mattered. The characters mattered. And now, all of it's been thrown out the window in the name of modernization. What do you think about this whole Snow White mess? Is it time for Disney to change course? Or is the damage already done? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on woke Disney, Snow White, and everything in between. See you in the next one.